Welcome to the E-Commerce Growth Show, brought to you by Segmentify, the fast, lean learning machine, the fastest learning, most revenue-generating personalization platform for e-commerce.
Welcome to the E-Commerce Growth Show. As you know, we're all about helping e-commerce retailers grow their revenue. And we're right in the middle of summer. It's a beautifully hot day. It is lockdown. There's COVID still about. And actually, because it's so lovely, I was just talking to my guest about how we both make the transition into the garden to start working from there. But I don't really get on with that very well because of the glare on the screen and the heat. So if anyone's actually made that transition and done it, please could you get in touch with me and tell me, because I really want to do that, because I'm currently in my 5-year-old boy's bedroom, yet again, staring at the dinosaur pictures, but it's all good. So it's time to welcome our guest today. I have the pleasure of chatting to James Hayes. Now, James is the Director of Business Development at Parcelhub, which is part of the Whistle Group. So I'm sure many of you will be aware of. I'm actually old enough to know that it used to be TNT Post, actually, on the orange lorries going around the motorways, I think. But then obviously the whole Whistle thing, the rebrand, and then Parcelhub as part of that group. So I'm interested to hear from James about that kind of dynamic, how that works. But James is obsessed with e-commerce, been in that world for many, many years, and has spent his career advising and supporting online retailers with final mile delivery. More interestingly as well for me, more recently, customer experience related to that as well, and how that can be used as a sales and retention strategy. So that's very interesting. Hello there, James.
Hey Phil, morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Like you say, it's a hot day. It's a very hot day.
Yeah, and we're not yet in the garden, which is a shame. But hey,
no,
we'll get there.
Right. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, why don't we start by just a bit of an icebreaker, if you like. I hear that you had some really interesting experiences with Amy Winehouse. Which is pretty amazing. Why don't you tell us a bit more about that funny story or something, or what she's like?
Thanks. I think this story will follow me around forever.
Absolutely.
So a good friend of mine actually, called Tom, used to be Amy Winehouse's tour manager. Mm-hmm. So I was fortunate enough to have met her a few times, both backstage and on her tour bus quite a few times. Mm-hmm. Quite a surreal experience, really.
I bet.
I remember watching the Manchester City Man United derby with a beer, sat next to Amy watching the football. Yeah, quite surreal, really. So I'm privileged to have met the wonderful singer that she was. Anyway, my friend Tom has, unfortunately, a picture of me in the Nud that he managed to take at some point while we were backpacking in Australia years and years ago.
I see.
So that picture is it surfaced. Tom thought it would be really funny to show Amy on the tour bus in front of all her backing singers and everybody this picture of me in an uncompromising position without any clothes on.
Were you in good shape though?
I was in fairly good. Actually, no, I was in the best shape of my life. I looked great. Weight loss. So before looking after kids and working 24 hours a day, I was in my early 20s, so I look quite good actually. So that's the good thing,
Yeah, exactly,
So thanks to Tom, Amy Winehouse saw me naked. Oh, I give it not in real life, on the photograph.
No, totally. Well,
there you go. Thanks.
That was a blessing for her before she passed on to the good Lord, eh?
Maybe.
Oh, that's great though. I mean, I must admit, I do. I watched the film, the kind of biography, and I thought it was so sad. Like, but isn't it such a case of these incredible artists, at the same time being so insecure as well, and how it just becomes this disaster that is rolled out in front of the whole of humanity,
exactly. Sad.
But,
she was wonderful.
Art moves on, right? Lives on.
Absolutely.
There's so many of these people, but fair play. Anyway, so moving on to the kind of overarching theme, if you like, of today's chat. we've basically been talking about during this whole COVID pandemic over the past few weeks and months now, we've seen obviously massive changes in online commerce. Do you think that now has almost been a catalyst for permanent change? Do you think it's here to stay?
Yeah, I really do.
Mm,
It's at the minute we're sort of
mm,
experiencing like a modern day gold rush into e-commerce.
yeah,
Um, we've seen our online commerce customers ship around 250% more products in April than they did in March,
wow.
and May is looking even bigger still.
Mm, mm,
Um, Not every business trading online
no,
has enjoyed
no,
that. Not
yeah,
There has
good
been
say.
winners and there has been losers.
Yeah,
Fashion didn't do great out of it, but is recovering now quite well as everybody's buying loungewear to work from home.
yeah,
But to answer your question, will it ever be the same? No, I don't think life will be the same. I think we all
mhm,
recognise that.
yeah,
But if you're asking about e-commerce,
mm,
it's already changed. It's accelerated the growth of it. There's
yeah,
a stat doing the rounds at the minute about the
mm,
US e-commerce economy.
yeah,
The e-commerce in America was about 16% of overall retail sales in 2019.
mhm,
In 2010, that was about 6%. So about a 10% growth of
yeah,
e-commerce in 10 years in America. In
yeah,
April last
yeah,
month, it was up to 27% of retail sales. So that
mm,
10% that took 10 years has just happened in 10 weeks
yeah,
because of
yeah,
everybody at home, everybody's shopping online,
yeah,
everybody's rushing to sell online.
yeah,
Um, New
yeah.
Shopify websites are just
Yeah,
through
I've
the
seen that.
roof.
Yeah, the Shopify
Incredible.
share price has just gone absolutely mental, hasn't it?
Rocketed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the same
yeah,
with the Amazon share price.
oh yeah,
You can see anything that's related to online with a
yeah,
product being purchased is booming.
yeah,
It's proper full speed, and that's for newcomers and those evolvers that are already in the game.
yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, and I suppose with the whole, I mean, everywhere you look, these massive brands are now going into administration, like your Laura Ashley's and the Doroth, what is it, what's that other one, Kath Kidson and that kind of thing. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, I was looking at those brands, I think a few years ago, thinking, how on earth are they going to survive, like with hundreds of stores, like
Yeah,
when the high streets basically become one long cafe.
yeah,
With a bunch of mums in pram. Well, I might
and,
generalize there, but
and
you know what I mean,
barbers.
like a bunch of, yeah, and so that hasn't really surprised me. But I think you're right. Even without stats, I think it's just common knowledge that it's just accelerated this move. So brands have now, got to make the most out of online, and
Mm,
now more than ever. Um,
absolutely.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
I hope it
yeah,
isn't the end of the high street, and I'm sure it won't be, as
yeah,
that is an experience. People still want that experience, but it's going to be a
yeah,
while before people are comfortable going
yeah,
out as much as they used to shoulder, going through
yeah,
the rails.
yeah. No, for sure, for sure. It'll go like, I don't know if it won't go full circle, but it will certainly be some kind of um, transition back to something, because
Yeah,
people will still want to get out. Mums still need to get out. Me, or you know whatever it is that people want to do that's not just in their house when they are
quite.
buying something.
Yeah,
But like you say, there's so many of those things in life, isn't it, where you almost see one extreme go to another extreme and then kind of back somewhere, and it's kind of
yeah,
cyclical in some respects. So
exactly. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing how it evolves, but yeah, it's an
yeah,
interesting time.
absolutely. So what are you hearing then in the market at the moment, and specifically in terms of Parcelhub, and maybe for the guys who don't know what Parcelhub is, a little bit of background on it, and what are you doing at the moment that you're finding to really help merchants out there at the moment?
So we're seeing a lot of traditional B2B, so business to business businesses trying to create their
Hmm.
business to consumer solution.
Yeah,
Whether they're quickly trying to launch an eBay shop or other marketplaces, or even
yeah,
build their own branded web shops, like we've said on Shopify.
yeah,
Um, Brands and manufacturers are now desperately trying to sell direct that previously didn't. They may have sold to wholesalers who then had shops. Their business overnight has dried up. So the whole shift from traditional business to business, which just ended almost overnight, merchants are trying to get to multi-channel, opening new marketplaces domestically and also globally. There's opportunities around the world once you're able to ship products easier without the limitations we've currently got. There are countries that were previously reluctant to go to online, to purchase online, because that was their community. They preferred to go to the shop, but they don't anymore. So they've been forced to go online. So people have tasted online shopping. So there's a huge shift in that sense. But from our point of view, Parcelhub, I think we've gone the extra mile for our customers. Our marketing manager, he's been out in the van collecting parcels from customers. Most of the sales team have been in warehousing, supporting the operation. Almost overnight, we saw Black Friday volumes when we weren't prepared for it. So like most merchants, this volume and rush came out of nowhere almost. So it was just all hands on deck. And we feel we've excelled and, as best we could, supported our customers brilliantly. And there are some limitations to what can be done. The carrier networks, the likes of Royal Mail, and DPD, and Hermes, and everyone.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
They are, they are so busy. I think the volume for the Hermes, I think they do something like 400 or 380 million parcels for the year they forecast. That's going to be nearly 550 million parcels for this year. So that is an enormous amount of extra parcels that they've got to try and accommodate from a network, a final mile delivery, a customer support. So everything is stretched. Everybody's stretched to the limit. I've seen pictures of Raw Mail warehouses with just a frightening amount of parcels backed up, but that's the same in every single carrier.
No, it's interesting. Honestly, because I don't see the whole picture. Obviously, I see the stats of the verticals that are flying at the moment because of increased demand, and then I hear a lot of stories of the ones that are struggling a little bit more at the moment, less than in the fashion verticals and so on. But I suppose you're on the receiving end of the actual aggregate result of what's going on in e-commerce, like in terms of delivering the products, right? So if that's gone up massively, then overall it's just showing that e-commerce has massively grown during this season.
Absolutely, and it's changed how it feels as well. From if you go into the warehouses and ours as well, what you would normally see is loads and loads of small bags with some fashion items in them, and amongst other larger items. But because fashion has reduced somewhat, all those small bags aren't there. But there are equal numbers, or if not more, garden chairs, things like garden toys, things for the home that tend to be larger. So there's bigger items in the network. So not only is it busier, it's busier with bigger things. So it's just like a double hit of capacity.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
It's an interesting, it's a fun challenge. That's why I love the parcel and logistics game, because it's an absolute challenge. And at the end of the day, you think, how do we get through? But you do. And that's what I love about this industry, because it's a together we will get through sort of attitude.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's those companies that it's culture as well as the tech, right? As well as the solution.
Absolutely.
We're the same at Segmentify. It's all about the culture. It's about, the tech. It's about how well it works and serves and how the team rallies together, right? Especially for times like this. Absolutely. So, I mean, clearly this situation we're in right now is going to go on for quite a while. There's going to potentially be multiple kind of versions of lockdown. There's going to be relaxation, perhaps have to retighten again, depending on the weight on the systems and so on. But I mean, at some point, things will kind of calm down to a degree, and obviously, there's a lot of demand right now I'm not sure whether that demand will continue quite as spiked as it is, particularly in those verticals when, people are in lockdown and they need their swimming pool or their garden chairs or whatever it might be. So looking at it sort of from after this begins to calm down and return to some sort of normality, what does that then look like, do you think, for you guys and your customers? Do you think it would have changed?
Yes. So what does it look like? Well, we've adapted to home working really well.
Yeah.
We were in a fortunate position. We've invested previously in systems and software, and that earlier investment allowed us to very quickly change to home working. It took us a day or so. So I think we'll continue to embrace home working because we've seen some brilliant gains from it. Our team, the customer service team, their productivity is up 30 to 40%. So we're able to fix and resolve a lot more queries than we had done previously. We've moved to a 7-day working week, which has been fairly easy to do because we've not had to think about who's going to open the office, who's going to close the office. People just open the laptop. And we can then work around our staff's requirements. If they've got childcare, well, let's work around it. And together we'll can find time to have each hour serviced. So it would have been a lot harder if those staff were office based. So I think we'll continue to do that and supporting our merchants with their volume increase. That increase in capacity couldn't have come at a better time for us. If we'd have gone home working and stayed much the same, we would have really struggled to cope with the volume increases. So home working is definitely here to stay, I think. And from our customers' point of view, I think they've already grown, a lot of them, and I think they'll continue to grow because what they're getting from Parcelhub is massively e-commerce focused and gives them value with proactive work. We try and fix deliveries that are due to that probably would have failed. As more and more people shop online and more businesses sell online, it's going to be harder to keep those customers and harder to please those customers. There's going to be a lot more choice for everybody. So if you can make a memorable experience from every aspect of the buying journey, including delivery, you're more likely to then keep that customer and continue to grow more than you would have done. I don't know if you've seen the stat. There's apparently in the last few weeks, there's been 50,000 new applications from businesses looking to sell online through eBay.
Really?
50,000 business applications in a matter of weeks.
Is that shows you UK or globally or what?
I think that was a global number. So it's just incredible. And that's way more than they normally get.
Yeah, no, completely. Yeah. It's interesting about the working from home thing, actually, because we've experienced exactly the same thing. We are culturally in a much stronger place because we get a wash up every morning and we, meet the founder every day and we chat. And it's so much more kind of immediate because everybody can work around it so much easier than traveling in and then something happens and then you've got to go and get your coffee or whatever it might be. And like you said, the flexibility of being able to work much more flexibly
absolutely
helps the team, and obviously the customers. Absolutely. So I mean, I was interested in one of the things you said at the beginning around actually using your services as part of a wider strategy for customer service and retention, sales and retention strategy type thing, right? So how does that fit in a little bit more detail in terms of Parcelhub being part of that customer support and delivery service and so on? How have you seen that basically happen for you guys?
Okay. Well, what retailers get from us is sort of we're obsessed with failed deliveries. Only about 5% of deliveries fail. So it's a small number, but if you ask any merchant how noisy is the customer service department with people chasing deliveries, we call it Wizmo, where is my order? almost
Yeah.
all of them will say, yeah, that's most of our customer service customer service team's time.
Mm-hmm.
So by doing what we do, and your businesses can do this themselves, they don't need Parcelhub, but arguably what we've built would get them there quicker.
Yeah.
You just try and deliver memorable experiences to consumer. Imagine, I'll give you an example. Imagine receiving a phone call from a retailer that you bought a pair of anything that you wanted for that particular day. It needed to arrive. You needed that swimming pool because you've got a kids' party happening. You needed it to arrive. Just minutes after there's an issue, say the delivery driver couldn't find the house, or it's marked down as failed delivery because nobody was home.
Mm-hmm.
We would call a customer and say, hello, I know we've not got your order, or we've got an issue with your order. We've been monitoring it. We've been tracking it. We want you to be in love with our business, and we want you to feel valued by us because we want you to come back and order us again. We've got an issue, and we're calling you now to fix it because we want you to get that product. So if you can do that type of activity, proactive, customer centric, you're turning that customer that would have been let down into somebody that feels engaged with that retailer and they feel valued by that retailer. You might not actually be able to fix it. It still may fail, but you've made the effort. And then that rescues negative feedback. That rescues a lost customer. So you can't not win by going the extra mile and trying to be proactive. So we're huge advocates of that. It's focus on that 5% because you will retain so many more customers. And if you're not proactive, then your orders are failing, deliveries aren't succeeding. The carriers don't tend to tell you that there's been a problem with the delivery. Proactively, you've got to go looking for these issues yourself. So our software brings those issues to the eyeline. Every retailer's got a pile of returns in the back of the warehouse, gathering dust in a pile that they don't know what to do with. If you can reduce that by up to 80%, just by being proactive at the time that you could, on the day of the delivery failure, that is a huge amount of returns that you're going to stop. That's money saved, time saved, happy customers. There's some real gains to be had by focusing on that 5% of failed deliveries.
That's really interesting. And is that something that you offer as a service, or are you saying that your software offers the ability for them as a brand to be able to offer that service?
So everybody that uses Parcelhub has the software that identifies the issues, and then you've got two commercial options with us. We either just pass that to the retailer and say, here's some things you don't want to look at in real time, whether that's a fail, refused, whatever the issue is, or lost. So we either push it to the retailer for them to act on, or we take it on board and we then will contact the consumer as the brand, and we will do that proactive work for the retailer as the retailer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So that's your extension of their business at that point.
Exactly. Totally an extension to their business. Okay. So
that's like a managed service of some kind, right?
Yeah, that's a good it's a good way of putting it. It's very much like that.
Yeah, that's very interesting you say that, because that's one of the things that, and obviously I'd love to hear how that side of it is going for you guys, but certainly from that managed service side has been a differentiator for us as well.
Okay.
Because in a very similar way, being able to actually work on behalf of the team to drive the optimization of, for example, the personalization on the website takes the weight, because these teams, the brands teams typically are small, got a lot of stuff on their plates. And what we found was the more that you can do, like you say, working with you in a managed service context in terms of failed delivery, or us in terms of optimizing conversion on the website once you've got your traffic on there, just is such a differentiator when there are other suppliers, who offer a great service but don't have that extra expertise that they can offer almost as an extension of your own team. So have you found the same in that world?
Yeah, we really have. And once it's implemented into a retailer's business and it's working, it's very hard for them to let go of it. Often people are reluctant to outsource for various reasons. But we've not found one retailer yet that's moved to us that hasn't seen the value in what it does. It frees up, as you've just said, it frees up that team that are already stretched, almost certainly, to do more things that are productive for the business. And like one of them redeployed 6 of their customer service team, retrained them, and got them on product listing and product acquisition. So they were able to list more, buy more. So their business grew off the back of that, because we took away the painful bit of e-commerce, which is people chasing for the delivery. Let's take away all that noise for them, deal with it better than they were doing, so the retailer can sell more, buy more, and grow quicker. It's interesting that we've got the synergy there with how Segmentify works. Is really interesting.
No, absolutely. So just very quickly then, in terms of the not necessarily the technical side, or for want of a better word, but you mentioned earlier on that it sort of sites up failed delivery to the eye level, or the eye line, where you said earlier. I mean, how does it do that simply to the brand?
So there's years and years of tracking events that we've analysed, built a load of algorithms, and basically, in a simple sense, is when the driver out in the field gets out of his van, scans it or her, scans the parcel, then scans it as failed or check address or whatever that problem is. Within seconds, we've picked that scan event up and created a ticket, created a customer service ticket, and pushed it to an agent, whether that's our agent or the retailer's, and it's forcing us to look at it. So the software brings it to the eye line to work on. So it's a physical ticket that's created within the customer service software. So the software finds it, pushes it to an agent, and then we either contact the retailer, ask for some information, go back to the carrier, or then the other option is we just call the consumer and we say, hi, we're calling from shoes.com, whatever the customer's brand is, and we can do that for multiple brands. So if a retailer has 5 brands, we can adapt to that, and we can then call depending on the brand that sold the product. So all that good work goes to the brand, the retailer. We're just in the background. We don't exist. We do that bit by integrating with things like Zendesk, Freshdesk, Reply Manager, those customer service software that businesses are using. We've integrated with that. So we've become an extension of their team within that platform. So when a Wizmo comes in, where is my order, query, or a ticket, automatically it's assigned to Parcelhub. The API picks it up, replicates it for us. We work that query, respond to it. The response goes back through the retailer's customer service software. So they see what we're doing, which they just don't need to get involved.
No. So just very quickly on that, I mean, what sort of proportion of your customers are using that extension of their team option? Just out of interest, proportion. Do you know? Do you have a flavour for it?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it tends to be, and it's not exclusive, tends to be the top tier customers at the moment. We've got around, within Parcelhub, around 350 merchants ship through us. As part of the wider Whistle Group, we've got around 2,000 merchants that ship products through our solution. It's amazingly, it's only just growing its legs. So we've been building this platform for about 3 years, and it's now at full tilt. So we're probably at about 5 to 10% take up. But to answer the question differently, we did a survey recently, and you'll find this information on the Parcelhub website. And we surveyed a bunch of retailers and asked them about, would you outsource delivery service, and are you having issues with it? And I can't remember the exact number, but it was in the 70%. I've got major problems with delivery and would outsource that problem to somebody else. So that's telling us, yikes. And we've got something here. This product is great. And
100%. I'm not surprised at all, because that's exactly why we've done it. Because coming into the UK, as from other territories, effectively. So our mainstay was in Europe, effectively, Middle East, and so on. And then moving into the UK a couple of years back, it was the same thing. We had to really think deeply about, well, what is everyone doing here in the space of personalization, and how are we going to do something different that's helpful to the brands? And that was the top thing, actually. Obviously, before you even start talking about any value add, your product's got to deliver, obviously. So that tick box you just got to put away in your back pocket. But after that, it was then saying, actually, we've got a team of experts here who have been in machine learning for 20 years. So if they don't know what best practice is in the verticals of the 300 odd customers we've got, then nobody does. So it was kind of like saying that don't worry about setup, don't worry about building the widgets, don't worry about the dashboard and the A/B split testing and stuff like that. We'll work with you to do all that. You'll see all the results. But all the work evolved around optimizing that over the, I don't know, say you're doing a free split test against Nosto or something like that, or Price Relevance or any other players out there. We're not precious about these people. Everybody knows who these guys are. But we say, look, don't spend any money with us. Let us set up an A/B split test with you, and we'll do it for nothing, for like 14 days, 30 days, whatever it takes.
Nice.
And at the end of that period, as we've driven that optimization, knowing what the logic should be behind the algorithms and so on, then you can make your own mind up if we've put that revenue contribution another 7% higher, or in the case of Select Fashion, 15% higher, or whatever it is over Ecommerce.
Nice.
And then you can make your own decision. So I completely with you on that.
Love that. Love that. We should get you in front of a lot of our customers. I think that sounds fantastic.
Oh no, well,
genuinely
anytime,
increasing revenue, that would be great for our guys. We've got that synergy. What's the proof? The proof for us, you've got it on the revenue. The proof for us is the feedback increased, and have we had customers coming back to buy from us more often? And you just look at the Trustpilot scores, and we've done this for people. When we start with them, we take a screenshot of what their Trustpilot is, or whatever their Google shopping reviews are, so we can keep that. And then in 3 months' time, compare what it was to what it is. And almost every time we're reducing those sort of 1%, the 1 star, the bad feedback.
Yeah.
One example, they were at 12% was bad feedback, and it's down to 3 now. And we've been working that for about 5 months. So, and they've seen growth off the back of it.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And I mean, I hope you don't want me asking, but I mean, would you say that you are the only, obviously you do your competitive research like anyone else would, right? Are you the only players in that space offering that kind of really end-to-end sort of managed service offering?
To my knowledge, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe we are. We're the only business that's putting humans in front of consumers as the brand in the way of delivery queries and delivery support. There are call centers out there that you can pass off customer service to, but to do the delivery aspects and focus on that and call the carrier and do all that work, I think we're in a pretty unique space here, and we're the only ones to do it.
Very interesting to flag that up to everybody. So, I mean, that's a good point really to ask in terms of if people want to know more about what you do and Parcelhub and all the sort of things we've been talking about. What's the best way for them to get hold of you?
Feel free to email me directly. Happy with that. It'd be great to hear from you. So it's james.hayes@parcelhub.co.uk. Visit the website, parcelhub.co.uk. And if you just stick Parcelhub into Google, you'll find it. Also, if you just want to watch and see what we talk about, download some of the ebooks that we've created, or follow us on LinkedIn. We're always sharing things about the e-commerce industry that are helpful and informative.
Sure, fantastic. Okay, so well, just to finish off, I like to ask my speakers this: is if there's one sort of gold nugget you'd love the guys who are listening to take away, what would you give them?
Great question. So I'm proud of what Parcelhub has done and invested in consumer experience. We turn those problem-filled deliveries into 5-star reviews and make your customers come back and buy more product from you. It's a competitive space, delivery services. You're always hounded by people offering cheaper shipping prices. But we remain competitive, but with our strengths on customer focus, that's what makes Parcelhub stand out from the industry. We've got a huge customer service team, 50 to 60 people strong. We train them for 3 months before we allow them to work delivery queries. which sounds crazy, but the huge benefit to us is that we do the job really well for people.
That's it.
So
Yeah,
we
that
take
value add.
parcel tracking seriously. It's a bit of a passion.
Absolutely. But I think it's like you say, it's investing in that way that it means that you take this seriously. And, you know, I would say, I don't know the ins and outs of this industry, but I know that Whistle Group is a massive group and you're part of that. And they wouldn't be in that position had they not, you know, taken this seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some of the things you're talking about completely lend itself to that.
Yeah.
I found it really interesting. I've learned a lot about what you do and the value you bring. No problem, man.
Yeah, same. Great to talk to you. Interesting to learn about what Segmentify does as well a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope that you guys that are listening enjoyed it and it was valuable. It just remains for me to say that, as I always say, really, please do go and sign in at the e-commerce growth show website address, which is segmentify.com/podcast. There you'll pick up James's podcast for the future and also previous ones and any new podcasts we bring out. Also, if you're interested in being involved in the show, or you have any particular topics that you want us to research and talk about, or have any questions in general, please do email me at phil@segmentify.com. But as I say, have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much, James, again for your time.
Thanks.
And
cheers.
No problem. And we look forward to speaking to you all again soon.
Put us to the test and let us prove we can drive more revenue for you. Sign up for a completely free proof of concept or split test against your current provider, set up and optimized by our team within a few days at segmentify.com/demo.